Welcome, welcome.
Do you still have to wear masks in here?
They say you do. I'm easygoing though if you like.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's good to have one just in
Last night I got
case.
somebody too, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a mask, and he's like, that's okay. So people are like less scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Katie, my name is Biniam.
Nice to meet you.
I pulled up at this spot there, and this lady was walking out, so I thought she was you. So I ran out.
Okay.
I just parked in front of her car.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess you're not my ride.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, by the way.
Yeah, happy Friday is right.
Are you on your way to work?
I just have to go pick up my car actually.
Okay.
I went out last night with some work friends, and
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to drink. And then
Yeah.
I did, so I just Ubered home, and then I was like, I'll go pick up my car in the morning. Like,
Sure enough.
Yeah.
So it turned out to be a memorable evening.
It was, yeah. I was actually like partying with my boss, so
Okay.
yeah.
And now
one of those.
you didn't see that coming.
No, I did not. They were a lot of fun.
What do you do for work?
I just work at a tanning salon right now.
Cool.
Yeah, so we just had like a little like corporate party with all the other people, and
Yeah.
yeah, a little rowdy.
It almost seems like it's like the catch-up season right now for like Christmas parties that work like usually puts up, right?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
like
saying?
They're making up for lost time.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
I've met a few others who have been having like their little group things with their co-workers and
Yeah.
companies, and so I'm like, oh, how interesting.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to say like, hey, thanks for like sticking around, and
Oh.
yeah, and like you said, like they didn't get to do anything like that before. So.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. I didn't think of that. I'm imagining yours is one of those that got hit with like being closed down and stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 times. It was nuts. I don't know how they're still running, honestly, but
Huh.
yeah,
Well-
definitely couldn't take it forward.
Here's to hoping it won't go to the fourth.
No kidding,
Yeah. I'll tell you something that I've secretly been planning for some time.
hey? Okay.
Showing up at a tanning salon
Yeah.
and asking for a membership.
Really? Okay.
Just to be silly.
Oh no, we actually do memberships.
Oh, I know you do.
Oh.
But how many black people do you usually have coming in?
I have had a couple in the past.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
And they've been serious about it?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
say.
I'm serious.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. Okay.
I know it sounds silly,
Yeah.
but no, they're like, oh, I do it because I'm like, have like the winter blues or like vitamin D deficient, right?
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I know. You're like the odd person for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the darkest of black people.
No.
And so I know many find it surprising that we even can tan too.
Oh yeah.
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 But whenever I get a chance, like I meet someone who's really, really dark, I
Okay.
ask them, so show me, do you tan? Like, do you have tan lines? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I'm like, but how much more darker can you get? You're already like super dark. And so, yeah,
Oh man.
it's one of those points.
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
these are conversations I can have that maybe white people can't generally broach their way into, because it's like,
I guess. Yeah. Man, the questions though, hey?
yeah. So, I've never had a chance to talk to someone in the tanning
Okay.
industry. If you could consider one consistent sort of like, I guess, stereotype or observation you see in most of your clients, what would that be? Like that kind of.
Oh, that's a good question. Definitely that like people are freaked out like tanning gives you cancer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like everyone's worried about the skin cancer and stuff from it. But I think the biggest stereotype from that is that unless you're like burning your skin, even being out in the sun, like if you're burning in the sun or you're burning in a bed, that's when it becomes dangerous. If you're exposed to like controlled levels of UV, there's no, like you're not hitting that danger point. You're just getting a tan.
Yeah. So like most of your clients don't have that concern. It's just people outside who got it.
Yeah,
for?
A couple years now. I've just been doing it for school because
Yeah.
it's a good desk job. You get to sit there and like do your homework some days.
Ah,
So
nice. Yeah.
I've held on to it for that reason.
Nice. Yeah. That's so helpful.
Yeah.
I like those kind of jobs where you can do both ends, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know. It's like
Right?
I specifically look for jobs where I can still feed my mind while getting the job done.
You really hate?
I call it my no-brainer jobs.
Okay.
No-brainer jobs for me are the kind where I can go on autopilot doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I'm able to like have my mind elsewhere.
Oh, I like that.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a no-brainer job. It's like a no-brainer job that facilitates like brainful activity, right?
Yeah, but
What?
still, like something. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then that way I can continue like listening to podcasts or audiobooks or think about things that are really on my radar, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never heard someone say that though. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I used to be a paper boy for years, right into my university years. I delivered
Okay.
hundreds and hundreds and thousands sometimes too.
Okay.
And that was kind of how I got my income. And I like that kind of work because it's piecework, which means for me, I like working hard.
Yeah.
Yes, but I like not having a cap on what I can earn, right? So
Yeah.
the harder I work, the more I can earn. So I wasn't opposed to hard work, so I just took on like, I remember when I moved out here from BC and for my grad studies,
Yeah.
and I was living in Cochrane at the time, so I called the circulation desk and I'm like, so I'd like to take on a paper route. They're like, great. And then I say, I'd like to take on all your paper routes that are available. Like, I need like hundreds and hundreds, like maybe 600 papers. And like, who are you?
Yeah,
and we're not ready to give that to you just because, I mean, like, that's a crazy request, right?
Okay.
They don't know who I am from Adam.
Right.
They don't know like my work habits or anything like that. They don't know I've done this for years back in BC, and so it took
Fair.
some time to like earn that kind of like credibility to say, okay, this
Yeah.
guy's really for real kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was something that I could do like without having to like really think about like just delivering papers, and then I was able to keep my mind occupied. I used to be a tree planter. Tree
Okay.
planting again was one of those things that enabled or facilitated that kind of extension of my mind.
Yeah.
I used to be,
Like, what
Curve
audiobooks
ahead.
are you into?
So a lot of philosophy,
Okay,
a lot
cool.
of sociology, a lot of psychology as well too. I really am intrigued by social dynamics, how people work, and especially in community. And so I really like growing in insights,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the way we think, operate, and behave, and why we do what we do.
That is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in sociology.
Are you?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So my interests are like just right there with you. Yeah.
Why are you in sociology?
Kind of ended up there like on a fluke.
Yes.
But it turned out to be like amazing.
The
Like,
thing that you're like relishing.
yeah. Like I look back and I like going into university. I thought I was gonna be like more into like the psychology.
Yeah.
But now I'm like so glad that it was SOS and not psych. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
And what do you hope to accomplish as you are like stretching your mind in this area? Like what?
I mean, I still don't know the end goal.
Yes. But what are you like fantasizing over?
Man, I think I've switched around ideas so many times.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I don't even know if there's like one thing.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, mine is pretty ambitious.
Okay.
I think my unique skill set that I've like honed in over many, many years.
Yeah.
I want to help people grow an awareness of themselves. I want to help people maximize their happiness and to learn to be kind to themselves.
I like that.
I would say my self-appointed title. Now, I've got a couple that I'm playing with. My one, because I love this job, and I'll tell you why I love this job. But I playfully call myself an Uberologist.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm very intentional about this job. This job for me gives me an amazing access to a good spectrum of the community, where I get to connect with them, listening to what's going on, hearing like the pulse of the community. I love this job for so many reasons.
Wow.
But more seriously, I would say my self-appointed title that I take more seriously. It's on my business card is kindologist.
Okay.
And so just the medium of kindness that I want to really put on the world's radar. And so I'm I'm very intentional about inspiring others towards what could be, in growing to be such individuals where they do choose the hard pathways of growing in their self-awareness of themselves,
Yeah.
maximizing that experience of happiness that we all are finding elusive, and yet I think it's quite there's a way to pursue it, even though it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And especially learn to be kind, because I mean, most of us are kind to those around us, etc., but we are rarely ever kind to ourselves, right? And
It's
so
so true.
I think that's a
Yeah.
really important, necessary prerequisite or starting point
Yeah.
before we start, really dishing ourselves to our community, our world around us. And so
That's
what could that look like? And so that's my main aim that I'm investing in. And to do that, I love studying, first of all, why people are the way they are. I like learning how to communicate with them, to understand their story, to be able to know how to connect with them, how to be able to make my pitch, if you will, saying here's what could be, and here's why it's important, and here's why it's worthwhile doing the hard work necessary to get there, right? So guys, girls, kids, adult, like a whole range. I really love that challenge.
That is so neat. Like, very interesting to hear that.
Thank you.
Would you do anything as far as like counseling, or is that too like?
I've been asked
not-
often. I've got like lots of my friends who are psychologists, and they're like, Benny, why aren't you amongst us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I would do really well. In fact, I think that's probably what I'm primarily doing in an informal way.